Cash your check. You have 25. 50.
Who's your person that's getting you drinks? Nobody? We're buying for a drink.
I know. I'm okay with that. Great. Make her take pictures.
Marie.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good Friday happy hour evening to everybody out there watching the show from wherever you're freezing your ass off today, because the temperature dropped, I don't know how many degrees here. I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
Oh, I hear you now. There you go.
You
see,
are
because I said
really,
your microphone.
really screwing
no.
this up.
No. You grabbed the wrong microphone. You're always two. I'm
Yep.
one. You're two. The guest is three. The next guest is four. That's how it works.
And so the roadcaster that
All
you
right.
left behind,
right.
behind at home.
Let's explain to everybody why we're a little frazzled today. So I always like to be organized. I like to show up early. I like to set up early. And I like to just look at everything and make sure it's all set up. And then I set everything up at 3:15. And I'm ready for Jim Adderholt's interview with Chris Holly at 4 o'clock. And then I realized I forgot the power cord. Now, we live in Gateway, and the new Mango Rita luckily isn't on the beach. It's halfway to the beach. And as soon as you pulled in the parking lot, I called and I said, I forgot the power cord. And so Marie, who's with us tonight,
Who was my chauffeur this evening?
and you guys planned to be here at 4 o'clock, which would
We
have
were
been
here at-
totally new for you
Yeah.
to be here at 4 o'clock.
We were
and
here at 4, and then we had to
turn
definitely
around.
return to the house.
Good thing it's not one of the busiest traffic days of the
Yeah,
year
yeah. It's
today
nice
to
that
have
you
to
could
turn
pick-
around
Yeah, that's
and
right.
drive all the way back to Gateway to get a power cord so that the microphones work.
And
So
that's so me. It's so not you. But
you see, the problem is that, well, the challenge is I have two Roadcaster Pros. bought one behind your back when you weren't looking. But the problem is one of the power cords is broken. So I wanted to have one where I kept it in the box and one that I kept home for the show with Dan, or if we did a show from home. I never had to disconnect anything. I always had it in the box and I always had it at home. Well, the power cord to the other one broke. And so we always have to disconnect the power. Everything got to break down everything now
I
when
don't
the
really
show is
care.
over.
I just want you to be more organized and
Oh,
have it
okay.
put together so that I don't have to drive back and forth.
But
or
your
Marie
hair,
doesn't have to
look at
drive
your hair, how
back and-
fabulous
Well, I got
it
my
looks.
hair done.
Wow,
thanks
it's
to
all
Jean.
floofy out
And
there.
it's all colored.
Wow, what color is it?
It's brown with some highlights in there.
It almost
I
looks
got the full thing.
it almost
done.
looks bigger.
bigger.
like-
I got it cut.
I see. It looks bigger though, like it's up in the air there. So, are you ready for Christmas? Did you buy everything you wanted for Christmas?
I'm panicking, so I got a few more
Oh,
gift cards now to get.
Don't do it today. It was crazy out there. I went out
Like
early.
you've done anything.
No, I went out early
for
this morning because
Christmas.
I was thinking, all right, these places are going to be open. So I went out early, 9 o'clock. Early. That's 9 o'clock
They
isn't
don't
early for
till
me.
10,
And then
right?
they're waiting
Yep.
for people to open it. They don't open
Yep.
at 9:57 or 9:58 or 9:59. They open at 10 o'clock, like on
Yep.
the nose. Because most of these places are retail. They're run by kids and stuff. They don't even want to be there. So Rhonda always says your hair looks fabulous. So enough about us. By the way, the
I had
January.
to put my makeup on in the car because you didn't give me any time
No
here.
warning.
So
You know, we're-
hopefully I don't.
We're making
have, like-
memories when we do stuff like that. Like, okay, we're gonna be organized. We're just gonna
What
sit
did
down and
Marie-
relax. And then Marie's like,
As Marie is going way too fast on any road, she
Yeah.
goes, "This
And
is
she's-
like an adventure."
yeah, and it's not like she's driving a Lamborghini or anything. She's got this giant,
got this
1978 friggin' SUV that probably only goes
I'm telling you,
55 miles an
that
hour. It
thing is-
sounds like it's
no,
going 90.
That thing, Stella. It's called Stella, and it goes fast. So
What's going
we're
on outside with the temperature dropping like that? It's
Oh, well,
60 out there now. It's
I heard
freezing.
it's going to be 30
freezing.
something.
38 degrees tonight here in Florida. All right, so the January 1st beach cleanup that we organized with Keep Lee County Beautiful. It's like there's like over 200 people already registered for it. We raised the limit to 250. We're going to have Jimmy Java's coffee for our first 150 people for free.
I
Twen-
think they one of
They were on the show once.
yeah, but
Long time ago.
in
Yeah.
the beginning,
back in the day. And then we have 20% off of lunch at Wahoo Willie's for everybody just for that day. So it's really going to be a fun diggity time on January 1st. So don't get too
and now-
hungover, people.
No.
And if you signed up on the Keep Lee County Beautiful site and then you too hungover, we're calling your ass out for being a drunkard.
we need to move that over
Yeah.
to the left.
All right,
So
let's have
how
our first
great
guest
is-
on.
Well,
Come
wait
on.
a minute. I just want to say how great it is that more businesses are opening
Yeah.
on the beach.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
day we got a new business. And right now we're going to have our friends from Adventures in Paradise. Come on. And Stephanie, I know you got like a whole crew here. So
Hi.
who's coming on with you?
Actually, we have our marine biologist, our very own
Oh,
marine
wow.
biologist,
Wow.
Andrew
How you guys
Herrick.
doing?
Good. Nice
Yeah.
and close with the
Wow.
microphone, Andrew.
Thank you, sir. How you
All
guys
right.
doing tonight?
Very
Good,
good. Very good.
good. Very good.
You love the marine biologist.
I
angle
do.
there. You
I
didn't even
love
know-
that.
you didn't
And
even
you
know-
smell good. What kind of perfume do you have on?
It's actually something they've discontinued. It's Elizabeth and James Nirvana bourbon,
Oh, I
and
love
of course I had to
that.
like order it like black style, like
You like
What does
that.
black
Yeah.
style mean?
like what do they call that? Like
On
like
the QT? Like
yeah, like
He's a marine biologist.
That's right.
He
I don't
knows
specialize in
nothing
perfume. I
about-
could talk to your ear off about dolphins, but the perfume,
I
it's your
can't smell
division.
anything
yeah.
since COVID. So what does it smell
It
like?
smells good. It smells good.
Absolutely.
So what
So-
is Adventures in Paradise? Tell our audience.
So basically, we've been we're an excursion company. It started off in 1986 by the Stewart family. It's just a small chair and rental company, and has since flourished into one of the coolest excursion companies that we have here in Southwest Florida. It really
Right.
is all about providing people from all over the country and let alone all over the world a great experience with educational programs on dolphin. We do all sorts of things like sunset trips for dolphins, so you get to enjoy a sunset and look at dolphin. We even had educational tours with marine biology, sea life encounters, shelling and lunch trips, everything like that. So
Now, when I was in high school, I was a marine biologist. I was trying to become a marine biologist, and then it just got a little too boring for me. So,
I've heard it a million
I mean,
times.
did you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
spend a lot of money on college to become one?
Well, I did go to a community college in the Keys. It was College of the Florida Keys before it became state accredited. So I did miss the state accreditation, but I only spent 2 years down there as associates in science, but learned a plethora of information on top of it. I started off as a clownfish breeder, so
What?
a
Clownfish
clownfish breeder. I
breeder.
bred clownfish for the aquaculturing industry, which is sustainable. It's meant
You
to,
might have to tell him what a clownfish is.
That's
And I
okay.
don't even know if he'll get
That's
the
okay.
movie
I
reference.
was going to say
So
the typical
I
reference
know.
is
That was,
Finding Nemo. If you've
right.
ever seen Nemo
That's a
before.
clownfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very sought after fish in the aquarium.
For the next
industry.
30 minutes, she's going to insult me as much
Yeah.
as she can because she doesn't like the fact that I'm
Nice
a marine
place to go
biologist.
to
on the
college,
side.
It's called
though.
marriage, Ed.
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. No, my only complaint was that it just didn't last long enough. You know, it's Key
What
West.
didn't?
Lots of
Marriage? Your marriage?
fun.
No,
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 marriage
no.
at all. College.
College.
Yeah.
But how much did it cost you to go through all those?
It's something I try not to think about too much, but it really wasn't bad in the grand
No.
scheme of things.
Like
It's a lot
dollar
cheaper
amount.
than your typical state accredited
Yeah.
college.
Did Joe Biden forgive your student loans for you? You good with that?
He's actually working on it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
so I'm
nice.
thankful
Good for
that
you.
too.
Good
Of
for
course,
you.
Thank you.
Do
He
you,
is absolutely brilliant. He really is. He taught me everything that I
Joe-
know.
Joe Biden's absolutely brilliant?
Nah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I see. I missed that reference somewhere
Well,
along
we
the
won't
way.
compare apples to oranges. So
So on the excursions, is it on the pontoon kind of boats, or is it
So-
like on
so
a
we ride-
speedboat,
we ride
or
on,
what?
45-foot Corinthians, and you can't miss them. They're bright yellow. If you're ever out on the water, just having a personal day as it is, you're going to see one, if not three, of our boats out there showing people an amazing time. But very comfortable platform of a boat. You don't get seasick at all. They're like tanks out there. That's what we call them in the water. That's such a smooth ride.
I was actually terrified of being on a boat until I moved down here and got this job. I
Wow.
literally did not want to be on a boat. And then I was in dentistry for 20 years.
She's afraid of the water too.
Well,
We can have a healthy respect.
Wait,
that's
you-
for sure.
I was a
Yeah.
dental clinician for 20 years and
Wow.
finally said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to
I
be
see.
out in nature.
What is
and
What does a dental clinician make a year? I mean, what's that kind of
up
salary?
north?
Yeah.
Roughly.
This is the question
would
about
say-
his bill for college.
We're
Now
covering
it's
a lot
your
of ground
head-
tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
I
It's-
guess a good one about 30 an hour.
So what does that come out to a year? She's not real good with math, so
I
You will soon learn.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
Not enough.
I see.
No,
30
it
an
was-
hour.
but
Is that
the
before or
life-
after taxes?
Oh my lord.
oh, that was before.
I see.
But honestly, for
You're
what
really
we
bringing the
did,
show
it was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't worth, our life. Like
Right.
I enjoy being on the water and making a little bit less.
Yeah. Why would you want to be toying around with people's mouths when you can be out on the water looking at dolphins? It
Exactly.
just seems like
That's
I mean,
what I'm saying. I want to see the dolphin's teeth, not other people's teeth.
when you're doing like your dental clinician kind of thing and you're inspecting somebody's mouth, do you ever say to you like if the guy leaves, whoever it is, what the hell did that guy have in his mouth? I mean, Jesus, he must have ate some raw fish
no,
or
I guess I
some
had
dead
more-
animal or something.
No, I had a lot of compassion for people because everyone has like a different story.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
need to
that's
get
what
some
led me to
compassion for me,
animals
dear.
too.
Yeah.
Like, being with animals, you don't know like what they're going through. Same thing with people's mouths. So,
Yeah.
but
Thank you,
animals are
John.
a little
John,
more friendly than people.
John did the math at home.
Oh, animals are so much better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did your boats make out during the storm?
Well, we were actually very, very
Yes.
lucky. We ended up
Yeah.
being the only excursion company in the area that had all of their boats salvageable. We did have one that was pretty close to its last leg, but it's actually the first boat that the family's ever bought. It's called Miss Paradise. So Miss Paradise is actively floating as of right now. We have 5 boats in our fleet that are taking people back and forth from our Port Sanibel location
Mhm.
to the islands. And as Ian happened as well, again, we were very thankful to have these boats because we were the main means of transportation to get back and forth to the island of Sanibel as
Mhm.
the causeways were inundated.
Right.
If you're just joining the show, we're talking to the folks from Adventures in Paradise.
guys.
How many locate? You're very happy,
Oh, you always
Oh,
gotta be
no.
happy. You know what I do for work.
right? So, how many locations do you have?
We have one location as of right now based off of Port Comfort Road right before the Sanibel Causeway.
That
we did
just
have
opened.
Yes, we did have the location on Fort Myers Beach at Snug Harbor, but everybody knows the story with that right now. So we're looking forward to get back out to Snug Harbor
Yeah.
once it's all built again.
Actually, hopefully by President's
By
Day.
President's Day.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
close. They're
Yes.
moving
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
along over
And
there.
we're
Yeah.
now in affiliation with Sanibel Marina, actually on Sanibel, right next to C-SPAN, to be able to, again, take people that are in the proximity of Sanibel on these trips as well. So,
So as you've been going out recently,
yes,
what's different since the storm?
It's about-
because yeah,
it's about everything that you can imagine.
Yeah.
As a marine biologist, I look for a few different things. I look at water quality. I look at the nature surrounding the area, what was impacted, what wasn't. And the first few weeks of the storm coming through, the water was, of course, as mucked up as you could imagine. There was,
it was
a lot
like
of
a weird. I went over to Sanibel. Oh my God, I don't remember how many weeks after the storm. Not a ton.
Yeah,
And
she
it
was in
was
a
this-
video, a TV show.
It
I
was
mean,
this weird brown chocolate milk. It was.
yes, that's usually in cahoots with the Caloosahatchee River as they do the
I see.
freshwater releases,
Weird.
but that dark brown just comes from the amount of freshwater runoff in the area because Southwest Florida is so shallow as it is. That rainwater has nowhere to go like the other coast where it just falls down a 100-foot
Right,
continental shelf and it's gone after
so
that.
are you married?
No.
I see. So when you're
He doesn't like to stay too long into the
So I'm
science
just-
stuff
I'm just-
because he can't
that's fine.
hold. He's like, I
listen,
don't get it. I don't
somebody-
get it.
so I'm
That's
just
every,
watching the
like,
chat
married
box. I'm
couple.
watching the chat box.
Of
So
course.
when you tell people, like when you tell women, girls, ladies, you're a marine biologist. I mean, what's the reaction to that?
It's,
Like,
it's what
And
you
you got the-
expect.
Pickup line to start with.
It does. It
they
does
don't believe
help.
you.
It
Do they
does-
believe you?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
You
He's
hear me
totally
talking already?
rocking
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Yeah,
Here's the thing,
he's
I love
totally
my
rocking
husband, and
that.
I'm like totally married, and he's actually back there. But it was like
The one that was dropped.
dang, He's a marine biologist. I was like,
Yeah. Is your husband the one that was dropping all the F bombs before? Was that your
My
husband?
husband?
Yeah.
oh, we both do.
I see. All righty.
I don't know. But
So I mean,
not on job.
how
like,
old are you?
No.
27.
Holy shit, he's 27 and a marine biologist.
Wow.
There's another
Wow.
one of me too. I come with a twin that's same exact
Oh yeah,
schooling.
actually,
same
his
exact
twin is
everything.
here.
Yeah.
And he's a marine
An identical
biologist?
twin?
Identical twin.
Yes.
Hey, Thomas, come here.
Wait, is he a marine
Wow.
biologist
Yes,
too?
Well,
he
yeah,
is.
same exact degree.
Hold on.
everything.
Wow.
You know what?
weird
We
is
gotta
that?
say hi to
We
Thomas.
do have to make a little cameo. Yeah.
How's it going?
Good.
How's it going?
Wait,
I've been
Thomas.
watching you on
So
the phone.
weird.
You have to look right there though, just to confuse the people.
Hi, people at home.
Thomas, are you married?
I am not. No.
Are you married?
No.
I already asked him that. You're
All
not paying
right.
attention to my
Well,
question.
you don't always ask the right
So when you
questions.
go out and for drinks, when you say you're a marine biologist, how do the women react to
Well,
that?
usually they can't hold up with the conversation, so I just.
Oh, mic drop. Yeah,
Get
you
bell
find
for
the bell.
that one. Yeah, wow.
Bell.
I don't even know how to follow up with that, dear. I see.
That's right.
So we love you, Tropical Jesus. Okay.
That's not the ninth time I've heard it this week.
Tropical Jesus.
Tropical
I love it.
Jesus. Do you know anyone named Chris Badger?
Yes, he was our
Yes.
captain,
Oh,
and probably
Is that
we miss him
one of
so
the best
much.
ones I think we've
Wait,
ever
is he
had at
on
the
here?
company.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Chris?
We miss you,
Oh,
Captain
it was
Chris.
it was Chris that said tropical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Right.
Oh,
thank
Chris,
you,
we
Chris.
miss you so much.
So is that your nickname,
Oh.
Tropical Jesus? Is
I
that...
don't prefer, it's, but it is
Right,
what it is.
it
It
is
could be
what it
called
is.
worse, I guess.
when he lets his hair down, you would see.
So when you're
It's
out,
funny though.
what is it that you drink when you go out?
How so? You mean just cocktail of
Yeah.
choice?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
drink of
yeah,
choice?
It's
gotta
Friday.
It's got to have some kind of whiskey in it
I
for
see.
me to
Whiskey,
mess
Nice.
with.
wow.
There you go.
Does that make you angry or
That
relax?
makes me pretty much the happiest man on
I
earth,
see.
I think.
He doesn't really
So-
seem like a person
No,
who's
not
going
at
to
all.
get
So-
angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
no
when-
drinks or
Where
not.
are you originally from?
Well, I born in Fort Lauderdale and moved to Cape Coral when I was
Oh.
about a year
Yeah.
old. So raised
When
in Cape
you're
Coral.
drinking whiskey and you're on your second or third whiskey, do you say to the women that you're out, my name is Tropical Jesus? Do you say that to them?
No, it usually just finds me. Like I said,
see.
that was like the ninth time I've heard it this
I
week,
see.
so it just kind of
Alrighty
catches
then.
up.
Very nice. So
How
much-
long are the tours?
Yes.
Oh,
It
yes.
really depends.
3 hours?
We have the longest tour,
No.
right? There's Gilligan references every day, right there.
Right.
We do have a very long tour, about 6 hours, 6.5 hours, from 7:30 to about 3 o'clock in the
Do you
afternoon.
have a bathroom on there?
Yes,
Yes,
there's a
okay.
bathroom on board the
Because-
boat. We've got all drinks provided, water bottles and sodas provided on the boats as well. But we have the longest tour, which is our shelling tour, and that's all encompassing everything. Of course, if there's dolphins out there, we are not going to go right past them. You
Yeah.
got to stop and spend your due
We
diligence.
need
but
to
we've got-
say we need to say hi to Jacinta. She's watching in
Jacinta!
Chattanooga.
Jacinta!
Her,
From
her
Chattanooga.
her
Oh,
grandfather-
We
I
miss
know.
you. We love you. Get back to warm.
Chattanooga
honey.
might look a little different right now.
we want to say
Oh, it's
hello
like
to her
-7
grandfather
what I
passed
saw.
away,
Yeah.
and she went up to visit. So
Oh,
we
honey.
Warm out
she's
there.
getting
We
ready to
love
Come
fly
on one of
back.
our
Chattanooga,
trips, and
though.
I will bring my entire staff to your place.
Yeah.
There
Let's
you
do
go.
She's not kidding.
it. I know.
How many
We
people?
miss you, honey.
How many people do you get on?
Our max capacity is 49 people per boat, and that's for
No
all the trips. So
kidding.
whether you're taking the 6-hour lunch tour, you're taking the 1.5-hour dolphin tour, and usually, I mean, even if it's fully booked like that, there's still plenty of room on this 45-foot vessel to move around and to enjoy the dolphin in your
Wow.
own comfortable corner of the boat.
So on the 6-hour tour, do you have to have like a muster drill with the whole like thing? See? No one understands. No
What?
I
one.
know.
Mustard
The
drill.
mustard drill.
What is the
When
mustard
you go
drill?
on a cruise, they do this muster drill. So you have to
Oh, muster.
yeah,
not
you have
mustard.
to
I thought
get
you said
the life
mustard.
jacket on and
Oh
practice.
yes, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
of course. So we definitely there's a whole spiel before we leave about of course
Yeah.
where the life jackets are at and what we do in the event if we sink in the 3 foot of water out here. It's walk
Wow.
back to shore. I'll carry you if you need it. You know.
What's the coolest thing you've ever seen on one of your?
You could you
excursions?
feel that one first, and
I know,
I got a pretty good one too.
Hold on.
But
Wait, I think we almost need to get the shells and you get your picture.
Yeah, I
Shells.
saw
Oh,
that
absolutely,
shell.
Because
of
you
course,
have a
of
rare
course.
shell.
of
Now,
course.
He has actually found one of the most rare shells on North Captiva.
Absolutely, and that's just a small example.
on.
We'll show it up to a camera a little bit, but just a small example. You see the big shell it's into. It really just is
Is
about.
that a lightning whelk?
It certainly
It
is.
This is actually a lightning whelk with an alphabet cone and all kinds of rare shells that we have found in.
And these are all from our trips.
Wait,
did
these
you-
are all
Yes.
found on the
You
beaches on our
found that
trips.
big giant shell with all those little shells already in them.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well,
Oh,
I wish it
no,
worked
well,
like that,
no.
but just a few.
Now, why
few
is
little nice
that? Why
examples.
is that a thing? That shell?
Oh,
Shells? Well, it usually depends. A lot of people see them as little gems in this area here. So
Yeah.
if they're
Yeah,
looking
you
for
have
a
that
small
whole
souvenir,
shell museum over there.
Of
The
course.
Bailey Matthews.
Such a
Yeah,
cool
the
place.
national.
Yeah.
Yes.
but
yeah.
it really is. It's one of the natural takeaways of many
Oh, for
things on
sure.
our coast that is
Yeah.
sustainable. There's always going to be more shells. There's always going to be more
Did you-
little things.
so
to
you
take home.
found-
But you cannot take live
all-
sand dollars.
No, you can't
Do
take
not
live
take them.
anything. It's,
Live
it's
anything.
incredibly illegal.
Everybody
No
knows
turtles.
that's out there.
Right.
No
Come on.
nothing.
Right,
of
Don't
course.
take a manatee.
Oh,
Leave
please
them
no.
alone.
So wait.
That would be a hard thing to hide.
So that's what you found? That's the coolest thing you've
That's-
ever found
oh,
on your?
no.
Oh,
I
no.
can show you my
The-
phone background
sea
just as a
turtle.
reference.
Wait a second,
The
this
sea
is-
turtles
turtle.
are also cool.
Oh, sea turtles.
He actually,
What about one of those sawfish?
I've seen them actually
Yes.
present on one of our sea life encounter trips that we
I
run
wanna
through the
see one
trip.
of
So we
those.
actually take a group of people out to an area called Picnic Island, and on Picnic Island, about 5 inches of water.
I think you need to button that top button there. Your hair's sticking out like that.
Ah.
I mean, this is a
It's the
family
mojo.
show. It's a
It's the
family
mojo.
show.
You know,
It's got all that hair sticking out there. It's starting to gross me out a little bit.
Just growing in front of our faces right now.
It's 65. Holy crap! It's
Yeah, right.
65 degrees outside already. Did you feel the temperature dropping?
Yeah,
when you
yeah. I
came in?
watched that
Woof.
front come in this morning from Northwest Cape
Yeah.
Coral.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
It's going to be 38 tonight.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
still
them-
smells wonderful if you want to get on a boat, though.
I saw them covering the plants out in Gateway.
Yes,
They
yeah.
do that like
Oh,
once
yeah.
every 2 years. They have to cover the plants.
actually, that's the other thing we need to talk about. We
Let's
actually
do it.
have a Santa cruise going out
Oh,
tomorrow.
nice.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes,
Who
of
knew?
course,
Yeah,
of course.
and we are going to have Santa and his reindeer.
Yes, and that will be our morning cruise as well. That leaves
Yes.
relatively early.
So
but
wait, Santa's going to actually be on the boat.
Santa's gonna
on
be
the
there.
on the island.
Yeah,
Oh, on the island.
He's
Because I
gonna-
was going to
With
say.
a reindeer?
The reindeer is driving the
Oh,
boat.
there
It's
is
Rudolph.
actually a reindeer.
No, where
That's
is it?
right. Shout out to Captain Evan.
Evan.
You guys are talking your own language here. It's going right over my head.
Oh,
Who's
no,
Captain
just-
Evan?
Captain. Oh,
Another one of the best
Yeah.
that we have at this company here. But
So wait, what time is this whole thing happening? Where does it go off?
well, we have our first trip in the morning.
Speak slower
Yeah,
so
you-
that
oh,
he
of
can
No,
course.
he's
keep
really
up.
he's a really fast talker. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
he's
got
really
a lot
fast
to
talker.
cover, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, we have our first trip leaving in the morning, and then we have a sunset trip leaving at around 4:45 in the afternoon.
Tomorrow?
As well.
Tomorrow
Yes. So
evening.
it's going to be a little bit brisk, but it's
Oh, yeah.
usually worth it to see those dolphins
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
but
So
the
you're-
Santa trip is in the morning.
Yes.
You're
And-
guaranteeing people are going to see dolphins.
Now we hear, listen, between you and me, we hear this all the time. Everybody that walks up to check in is like, "Are you sure?" We like to say you have about a 99% chance of seeing water, and you leave everything else up to
There you
to
go.
yeah.
what's going to happen.
But
The
you
Now,
know,
dolphins
in the
usually
colder
show up,
weather, are they more active?
They tend to hang down a little bit farther to kind of get away from the cold water, but they will
Okay.
stay in the shallows at the same time to make sure that they're gonna
It's
Get some
9
warmth out of
degrees
there.
in Illinois
Have you
right
ever
now.
seen a
Negative
great
9.
white shark out there?
no great white sharks. But back to he had asked us before the coolest thing that we had seen out there.
Right.
Period. We were on one of our trips out of Fort Myers Beach, and this was a morning trip about 9 a.m. We're leaving, and we had somebody spot out of Matanzas Pass quite a large dorsal fin, which immediately I knew wasn't a dolphin. I was like, that looks a lot different.
That's easy to
And-
tell the
and-
difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Chris was actually
Well, not for us northern people.
Well,
Of course.
I had a faux pas with that,
Right.
but go ahead.
Right. Well, Captain Chris was the one captaining that, and he had pointed it out as well. And we had to go check it out, obviously. But it was a dorsal fin that was exceeding like 3 feet tall. It was massive fin, and we pulled up, and it was a hammerhead shark that had about a
Oof.
5-foot tarpon in its mouth.
Ooh.
Not
Wow.
only was
Wow.
it there, it came up to our boat and decided to hit the side of the boat with the tarpon. So You never know what you're going to run into on the water out there.
I
You
was-
hadn't have a GoPro on at the time?
I had my phone camera on, which was the best thing that I could have had. I also had to mind the kids that didn't expect the Jaws ride that they had all of a sudden got onto. So I had to
that
calm
is
them down
big.
a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah,
but always
And
a
I
fun
think
time.
that the hammerhead, well, all of the sharks look so prehistoric because they are so
It was
old.
quite intimidating.
But the hammerheads are.
Yeah.
yeah.
When
That's
I was
weird.
scuba diving
And
once
those
in Key
soft
West, and I saw a hammerhead,
You
and it
were
wasn't.
not.
It swam right away from me.
You don't even know how to snorkel. You
Half
can't
of my
even,
classes
he
in Key
doesn't-
West were scuba diving, so that's pretty
He
cool.
doesn't know how to swim, so there's that.
How dare you?
You don't.
I
You
I know how to
don't.
swim.
You try to keep your
Yeah.
head up.
I
and
swim.
In
your
Southwest
arms
Florida,
up.
we
lap
learn so
pool.
differently. Like it's 3 feet
Yeah.
out there, you know. You can just
Yeah.
walk to wherever you want to go.
So I had a question about something, and I forgot what it was. So, do you remember what the question
Shocking.
was? Yeah, that
No.
you were going to ask about.
No,
So-
Maybe we
shocking.
should
Oh,
talk
no.
about our pop-up store.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do
The
it.
pop-up store in at Bell Tower.
Oh, I was
no
just there
kidding.
today.
Yeah. So Sanibel, unfortunately, the shops were
Right, right, right,
demolished,
right.
Yeah.
and they have pop-up stores. It's Adventures in Paradise and Little Adventures in Paradise.
Little
So
adventures.
so it's like a
Nice.
kids store, and so they have those going at Bell Tower right now.
Mhm. Of course, those
And-
shops they were previously based on Sanibel, but experienced quite a bit of water
Yeah,
damage and
yeah,
quite a bit
yeah.
of wind damage
But what
out
do you
there.
have-
Like
what do you
everybody
s-
else.
What,
Yeah, what are you selling?
What can people
Oh,
get
it's
in
all
there?
clothing,
Oh,
apparel.
it's
They have some fishing
beautiful
tackle
clothing.
too. It's kind of a multi-purpose store, mostly focused on retail. So they have a lot of,
I
a
see.
lot
And they
of
have
higher-end
toys on
clothes
the
and-
kids' end, and it's
Yeah.
just wonderful
All like
stores.
the stuff that you won't get. You
Yes,
know.
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good
yeah.
quality, very
Yeah.
good quality.
Yeah.
And feel free, you can check out the website at adventuresinparadiseincorporated.com to number one, get more information about reservations and bookings, but also catch up on the store and get to know the family that owns it a little bit better too.
So, how much does it cost to go out? Did you already mention that?
No.
No,
Okay.
actually,
I want some people
it
to know.
varies.
All right.
So yes, it does vary. For the dolphin tours, it's about $49 per ticket.
And that's an adult ticket.
An
yes.
adult ticket, yes, not the kids' ticket, but
Yes. And shelling tours at that as well. We do have 2 separate shelling tours that we're offering right now.
yes.
We currently have our shelling and lunch cruise, which is the extended cruise, and then we have our beach escape, which goes directly out to the Barrier Island Cayo Costa.
so much fun.
Oh, wait, okay,
That-
biology
that is
guy,
nice.
biology guy. You're talking too fast. So, your shelling tour would mean like you're in the boat, but you're looking at shells on shore.
Oh
on
no,
shore.
no.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
You're
Okay, wait.
getting out and
You're getting out on the
Yes.
shore.
I see.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
on the shore,
Yes,
like
those-
those.
yeah.
shells.
Yep, the whole encompassing point
I
is
see.
to
You're
allow
looking for
people
that
onto the
lightning
beach.
well, the Juwonia, all of those.
Oh, the
Oh, and he found his
Junonia. Yes, I
Junonia.
did. And
Yeah,
that's
did you?
yes,
Yeah.
if I could just show you my lock screen real
It
quick. This
was
is one
actually-
we found on one of our trips right
It was
there.
beautiful.
Dude, your phone is
Wow.
tiny.
And it was a
Oh,
rare.
yeah.
I know is that
What?
like a 12?
What iPhone is that? It's tiny.
Is
Oh,
that
yeah,
a-
12 mini.
Yeah,
12
12
mini,
mini.
yeah.
Oh,
Only
she
primitive
knows
at
her
this point.
shells. I love
Is
it.
that a company?
Shells.
Junonia.
Is that a? What happened? I
No,
missed
that's a
something
sexy shell.
here. Oh,
That was yeah.
And that's
Wow.
a good
that
one.
opportunity goes as well. If anybody's looking for rare shells or just a common
why now,
a simple
Mr.
beach
Marine
day.
Biology guy? Why are there so many shells on Sanibel? Why
It
is-
has that's a wonderful question.
Thank
One I
you.
love
Ding,
answering
ding,
on our
ding.
trips as well.
Yeah.
It has
You
to
get
do
one.
with the incredibly shallow water that we have on our coastline here. We have a lot of high mineral content in the water too, which allow these organisms to build their shells up. Because that's also a question people ask too. The animal inside the shell is what's making the shell as the years go on. So the combination of shallow water and the nutrient content in the water allows these animals to really thrive beyond deeper waters where they're going to find cold water and more pressure. This really is just a huge breeding ground for any sort of shell species that you'll find out here.
Now, has the recent storm and all of that changed it one way or the other?
Now, that's
Yes.
also a wonderful question too.
Oh,
I would
thank
say
you.
in the temporary
ding.
sense of things, absolutely. There, like I said before, the water quality has been an underlying issue, especially with Lake Okeechobee releases. So a lot of the things that are more sensitive, like shellfish, and we can go farther to say things like seahorses and specialized fish.
Those
Well,
are my favorite.
You got to come on one of our boats. We'll
I
show you many
love
of
the
them.
Seahorses are my
You need to come on one of our
favorites.
cruises then, because
Uh-huh.
we find, well, when we start the sea life tours again, the little seahorses would wrap around my finger and I would be able to show like
Oh, I
the
love
kids
that.
those. Yeah. So when the water quality gets going,
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
And maybe you guys can come on one of our
Not me.
tours.
Not you?
Oh,
No?
we
You know any reason
Well,
why?
he
I got
gets
a swim
seasick.
meet that day.
Oh,
He
swim
Yeah.
meet.
cannot swim, and he gets seasick.
I'm
I'm
an
there's no
Olympic
need
swimmer.
to swim. You
No
just
need.
you just
If
stay on the beach
even
and
if he sits
No.
there, he's
I'll take
throwing
pictures.
up.
oh, okay.
No,
Well,
she
that's
steals
okay.
all the Dramamine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the problem.
Oh,
Okay. It's a very smooth ride, though. I'll tell you. I used to be terrified of boats,
No,
and now I
I'm
work
not
on a
terrified of
boat, and I'll
anything.
tell you what.
Oh, please.
Maybe
it's the
gators.
smoothest
We tried to
ride
do the
I've
light-
ever
Actually,
been
I
on, and
wrestled
now
the
I work
gator
on
once.
it.
No, that she's on assignment for those kinds of things.
No, that's
I'm the
right up my
land
alley.
guy. She's the
Well,
sea
then we're
gal.
gonna bring him.
terrestrial and aquatic.
Yeah.
Got
There
it.
you go.
We know how
Uh-huh.
to split it.
Science
I get
guy.
it.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you do certain things. Your twin brother does certain things. That's how we roll.
Oh,
we
yeah.
do
Oh,
certain
yeah,
things.
absolutely.
And
I do all the work. She shows up with the hair.
That
That's the way the
sounds
show works.
familiar.
Okay, well-
Although I do all the work and I have all the hair.
Oh,
There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Honey
And
bear.
today I showed
Oh,
up
here we
with the
go.
much needed equipment that somebody
That's right.
forgot at the house.
Otherwise, nobody would be
So you can
hearing
take
us.
that and just walk
It's the
on away.
Christmas
Like I just
spirit.
walked
Heated
out of
on
my
here.
house. I love it.
I was too busy buying gifts for her today, so I
Yeah,
forgot the power
right.
cord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Who's
All
going
right,
to get
I'm
more
gonna check
gifts for
up on that,
Christmas? Yeah. Who do you think's going to get more gifts for
I will
Christmas,
definitely
me or her?
get more.
Mhm.
No, I will definitely get more.
And
I
she
will
will also
definitely get
return more because
And
that's
I
what she
will
does
return
every
them.
year.
Because really, Christmas is just about hanging out and being together. You
Yeah.
go
Absolutely.
too much
Uh-huh.
with the materialism.
Yeah.
And I'd recommend hanging out, being together, and maybe put it on a boat too. Come on out and enjoy yourself.
I know. I love that.
All right, you
I
You know
guys.
what? That's like,
Experiences
ooh,
are
and if you want to
better
be sexy,
gifts.
get your wife on a
Absolutely.
boat. There you
go.
go. Take her
I'm
on a
feeling
sunset
that.
cruise
When
with
we
us.
did
Yeah.
when we went out with
Good
friends
try.
to the
Nice
Cayo
try,
Costa, those are
Stephanie.
some of my favorite pictures.
See?
The water
Oh,
was
it's
amazing.
Oh, look who
unparalleled
popped
out
out of
there.
and I was
her.
in decent shape
Look who
then.
popped out of her cold shell wherever she is in Indiana. Is she in Indiana?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Christy
now I'm
Hennessy.
gonna haunt
Hennessy.
you forever. When
With
I
the
see you at
shells.
Wahoo Willie's or anywhere
Yeah.
else, I'm gonna be like, "Did you take your wife on that cruise
No.
yet?"
That's right.
No. We went fishing once and the guy's motor broke or some shit. It was
no,
crazy.
The boat started to sink. Yeah, it
Oh,
was rough. Yeah, it was
wow.
rough.
I'm
None
like,
of
"What-
that.
the one
None
time
of
I go
that.
out in the water, this guy can't. He can't. He's bailing water in a bucket. It's like,
He was so sweet.
hey,
though.
we'll keep fishing while you bail the water.
was
Which
so
cruise
sweet.
did you take?
Oh no, he was.
I
I
don't
don't,
remember.
even
It was,
remember. It was
but
100 years
they
ago.
made it right because they ended up. We came in, they refunded, and then they took myself and my nephews out for a night
Yeah.
fishing thing
Nice.
on a big boat. They were fantastic.
I had
They
a
were
swim meet that next
fantastic.
day, so I couldn't go.
So
And it
she
was
had
a-
a good time, and you're not
Our
saying
daughter
No.
was
such a good time.
18 at the time.
You know,
It was
my
her
favorite,
birthday gift.
my favorite thing is sitting on the dock of the bay with a
Oh.
fishing pole
Are you
Wasting
and
gonna start
time.
Oh,
singing?
wasted
I
time.
know.
And a bobber.
Otis? Is that Otis?
I like fishing with a bobber. That's my favorite because
Where's
you know,
your favorite place to fish?
on Long Island for snapper.
He's lying.
But you know,
Okay.
you throw that
He's got
fishing
one
line
answer.
out there, and you see that big red bobber go under the
He has
water.
no outdoor skills.
you ever seen a red bobber
whatsoever.
before?
Yeah,
red
and that's
bobber.
and you got and you know you got that
I'm from Lake
snapper on there.
Michigan. Of course, I know a red bobber.
I always fish with a bamboo pole, no reel or
Old
nothing.
school.
Yeah, old
So wait,
school.
where are you from? Are you
Long Island, yeah.
Long
Long
Island.
Island? So
I'm
you
a-
know the red bobber. That's why we
The red
understand
bobber
each
and
other.
the Jets. Did anyone watch the Jets last night? They were stellar. They just amazing. They scored an amazing 3 points in 4 quarters of football, which I mean, that's fabulous.
Oh, you lost me
So-
there. I'm not a football person. I'm sorry. I'm
So,
more of a Cubs
Thank
fan.
you,
Like,
thank you, Christy.
know,
She knows the
baseball.
bobber thing. Yeah, Cubs. Oh, another
Oh.
shitty team. Sorry.
Oh, well, it wasn't in 2016.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. So, is there anything else that you guys want everybody to know about?
Yeah, give the
Getting on,
information out
getting-
again.
Absolutely.
Getting rolling.
Of course, right now we're currently working with a few changes in our office. So our phone number, we're going to have one soon that we can give out. All I can recommend to everybody right now is please check out adventuresinparadiseinc.com. It's going to give you, number one, a full representation of all these wonderful trips that we do, but it also gives you a little bit more of idea of what fun you could have while you're out there as well. Whether you want to go see dolphins for an hour and a half, or you'd like to, of course, go out and find that perfect shell that suits you or anybody that you're trying to find a shell for. It is almost guaranteed with Adventures in Paradise, and I can guarantee anybody that comes out is going to have a lot of fun with us
I'm
too.
telling you, it was the best thing that I've ever done in my life is joining that company.
Awesome.
Somebody
So-
says store location.
Store location, of
Oh,
course.
yes.
So once again, we are located. We were originally located on Sanibel, but as they are fixing up those shops right now, we have a pop-up shop located in the Bell Tower Plaza. So if you're familiar with Bell Tower in Fort Myers, a lot of our owners are still running that business out there, and of course are really looking forward to getting, of course, to see their locals once again and people that are unfamiliar with the area too.
Now, when you're out there on the boat, do you pull out the pony and let the hair
If
flow?
I'm looking for a little bit of
Oh, it
tip, no, I'm just
happens,
kidding.
yeah.
Of course,
I'll tell you,
every
he,
now and then
he
when it
has
gets
the
a little hot.
gorgeous Jesus hair. It is perfect. I love
Nice.
it.
Well, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank
and
you
we
for
hope
having
to
us
have you
on.
back. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Our
Of
Fort
course.
Myers Beach location is coming up again, hopefully by President's Day. But thank you again for having us
course.
on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Adventures in
fun.
Paradise, everybody. And Thomas put the website up there. So
there
thank
we
you.
go.
Thomas.
Always on it.
Adventures in
Thank you guys for having
Paradise.com.
us, too.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Christmas.
All
and a
right.
happy New Year.
Before we get to our next guest, everybody, we need to tell you about some of the folks that sponsor the show. We have more sponsors than we've ever had before. And the cool thing about these sponsors now, not that there was anything wrong with the sponsors before, but the cool thing now is that everybody that we tell you about now, these are folks that you're going to need. These are folks that there's stuff going on the beach. There's things that you're going to need because you're rebuilding. And our newest sponsor is Mark Dorston, Dorston Claims. You've seen him on the show. So if your house is gone and your insurance company has denied the claim, you should call Dorston Claims at 239, and feel free to type this in the chat box, 239-849-2949, 239-849-2949. There are cases where both policies must pay the limit. The only way you'll know that is to ask, so call today. Don't let your wind insurance company keep hundreds of thousands of your dollars. This is important. We're all rebuilding down there. And this is a solicitation of business. If you had a claim for an insured property loss or damage and you're satisfied with the payment by your insurer, you may disregard this advertisement. If not, Mark's number is 239-849-2949. Thank you, Mark, for being one of our sponsors. And of course, we've been telling you about Liberty Roofing and Construction. They're your trusted. I just like to read
thing.
I just like to read the ads with music, and I appreciate that it has power to it now too. So, thank you for bringing the power cord. Liberty Roofing and Construction. Your house is gone or your house is damaged at some point. You might want to build a house that has a roof on it. Now, not everybody wants to live in a house with a roof on it. Some people would rather just let the sun shine in.
Who does not want a roof over their head?
But if you want a house with a roof on it, these are the folks to call. Liberty Roofing and Construction. That's your trusted roofing company. Clean property guarantee, industry-leading workmanship. You can get a free assessment by calling 401 Roofing. You know they got their shit together when they got a number like that. 401 Roofing. Or you can fill out a quote request form at libertyroofco.com. That's libertyroofco.com. Call Patrick McKenna, 401-439-9585. That's 401-439-9585. Thank you, Liberty Roofing, and all of our sponsors. Thank you, Pam, whatever that means. Where's our guest? Where's our next guest? All right, invite them over. These folks were recommended to us by Greg Skasny, a friend of ours for forever ago. Greg was like an original fan of the show. Maybe not fan. Maybe fans kind of stretching it. Friend of the show is probably more like it. And these folks came to Greg's location, his house, because Greg had some damage done to his house. So
You're a lefty? Me too.
welcome, guys, to the show. Talk right into the mic there.
Yes, sir.
Tell us the name of the company.
Sure. So the organization is called All Hands and Hearts Smart Response. It's an international disaster relief nonprofit driven by volunteers. There we are.
Yep.
And we're part of the Hurricane Ian response. My name's David Stackpole. I'm the program director. This is Brian Dykeman. My bad, Brian. Go ahead.
I'm Brian Dykeman. I'm just a volunteer.
Nice. Just a volunteer.
So tell us.
Take that word just out.
Yeah.
I know how it got started, which was fascinating. So can you tell folks how it got started?
Sure. So the Indian Ocean tsunami, there were two folks. One was David Campbell. One was Petronum Kova. They did not know each other at the time. They were both affected. Petronum Kova lost her fiance in it. She was actually swept up in the storm itself. David Campbell came to volunteer afterwards. He found a very effective way to get people to come out, put some dollars down, put their time in, is just coming back, telling stories about what it meant, the event, the devastation. And so that's where All Hands Volunteers comes from. So that was the original organization. And then Happy Hearts Foundation was Petra's organization. And she focused on rebuilding schools. She found that a lot of times that was one of the last things to get addressed. And so kids were, schools function as a community center for kids. They provide structure. They take a big burden off of parents, and education's key. So her organization was rebuilding schools, and then they joined forces, seeing that they all fit into the disaster response spectrum. So
Yeah, and that was I couldn't believe how long ago that tsunami was. It didn't seem that long ago, but when I was doing the research, I was like, was it 2004? I mean, it was a long time ago,
for sure.
and it was devastating, not unlike this situation that we have now. So fast forward, now they merge together, and now they go. So they still have. I was looking on the website, so there's still efforts that go on worldwide. It's a worldwide situation that where one of my favorite, one place that I would really like to go to is Nepal, and I saw that was
we are in Nepal.
That
That's
was
right.
on there. So but what are you guys doing locally for Hurricane Ian?
So I'm gonna toss this one over to Brian. So I'm the program director. So what that kind of means is I don't get out as much as I should. I spend a lot of time. Yeah, a couple of times. I spend a lot of time making phone calls. Directing.
All right.
But
So basically, there's 4 things that we're doing
Just
out
keep
here.
it real close. There you go.
4 things that we're doing out here. Muck and gut, mold sanitization, debris removal, and chainsaw work. So anyone that maybe their house got a bottom up flood or a top down flood, we're gonna go out and we're gonna get everything that's wet, get it out the house. You got some trees down that aren't on power lines, we'll come take them down for you. And then obviously debris removal is pretty self-explanatory. And then mold sanitization, after we do our muck and gut, we get a certain moisture level that we need, and then once we hit that level, we can come kill all the molds so that you can go and rebuild your house.
Now, looking back historically, because you go to a lot of these areas that have been devastated by storms, like Katrina, for example, how has this compared? Do you have sort of a reference point for that?
So yeah, I can speak to that. So before I started working for the organization, I was a volunteer for a long time.
A long time. You look, no offense, you look very young. How old are you?
What is a long time to me? I'm 27 years old.
Oh my God, you guys are so
So my first long time for me. So my first time volunteer with All Hands was 2017. So long time relative. So for the past 5 years, but seeing the floods in Kentucky this summer, Florence, Michael, Harvey, the Baton Rouge floods. I'm sure I'm missing one or two, but I think the main difference with this is the breadth of it. And so we were staying up in Port Charlotte for a while, and a lot of them would say, "Oh, Charlie was worse," but it was local. Like it wasn't.
We were here for Charlie, and Charlie was a more, to me, and I'm not a meteorologist. I don't work for NOAA or anything, but it's really
Who would work there?
I don't know, but it's super. To me, it seemed more compact and small.
Yeah.
But I mean, I went and volunteered with the the Red Cross, and where it hit, it was really, really ugly, but it was a very small swath, whereas this seemed to be just enormous, and with the storm surge. So go ahead.
And, that's one of the things that I talk about when I go back home to work, right? They're like, "Hey, what's it like down there?" And it's like, well, we started in this area, right, Port Charlotte, and I can go 50 miles in any direction, and there's people that needs help. And Port Charlotte was 50 miles away from where the worst spot was. So take that and put it into perspective, right?
Yeah, well, and I think that the surge of water and how much got knocked out, up there just with the rain and everything was incredible. Are you planning to join us at any point in the evening? Okay. So now you started in Port Charlotte. Now have you migrated down this way? Are you in both spots, or how's that working?
Yeah, so mostly we're working outside of Fort Myers, operating from Mission Community Church. We're actually up there in a couple weeks, so we're looking for new accommodations. So if you know anybody who wants to put up some young, handsome volunteers, hard workers.
Yeah, that's
neither of those things.
Yeah,
I'm neither young or handsome.
That's what
I'm not a volunteer. If you want to put up an organization of really handy, really good people, let me know. We can talk.
So now, where are you staying now? You're staying.
He just said
Mission Community Church, which is downtown Fort Myers. It's
I see.
if you want to know, it's off of MLK. So
and so they're telling you that you have to leave, or what was the
Well,
what
they're
happened?
coming up on some renovations
Oh, I
to their
see.
facility, and they've been gracious enough to
Yeah.
keep us for a while. But it's just time that they need us to get out.
So they put us up rent free for 2 months, and
Wow.
at this point, yeah, their church has like priorities that they need to get
Yeah.
to, and so
How many
you know.
how many total people do you need housed?
So 30 to 40. I think
Wow.
this last week we maxed out at 32. We're getting up into 32 in January, but we have our doors open to 40 people. That's how many we
Well,
say
as you
we
know,
can
in
fit.
Florida, it's easy to find housing for 40 people at a time because it's cheap down here. And it's
Yeah,
like, holy
yeah.
Christmas!
It's
I
free.
mean,
That's what I'm used
Yeah,
to.
if you
Yeah.
got $1 million,
you
you're
know what you
good.
should do? You should apply for a FEMA trailer because they're giving them out like hotcakes on Fort Myers
Yeah, we
Beach.
need a couple. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have any options? I mean, there's no way you can go.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a couple options. Not that don't want to put anything down just yet, but there's a couple people. It's not great, so we're still shopping around.
How do people find out what you're doing and how they can, like, I mean, if it were me, I'd be like, okay, these people are strangers. How do we even, I mean, because you never expect that your house is going to be destroyed like it is. And you just have people wandering around volunteering to help. You think they're going to loot your house.
Sure.
Yeah, I think like building trust in communities, that's a big
Yeah.
challenge wherever we go. Really, you just try to let the work speak for itself. And as far as how we get the word out, sometimes it's as simple as riding around neighborhood with a flyer that has a number, or riding around with assessment forms, just
But
talking
you
to
see,
people,
for
being
me, if I
empathetic,
saw
yeah.
a flyer, I'd be thinking, okay, he's telling me it's free, and then I'm going to get a $50,000 bill in the mail. I mean, so how do you tell them to go online and look at the website? I mean, we checked out
That helps, yeah.
I checked out the website. Did
I
you?
did.
Okay, you did some research for a
I
change.
think
Thank you.
also
You
like
missed it.
one of the big ways is we'll go into community that nobody has been helping yet. We'll be the first people there. We'll do the first house, and then neighbors will be like walking by. They're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
what are you doing here?" And we'll be like, "Oh, well, we're a charity, and we're helping muck and gut, or we're doing debris removal." And then we'll be like, "Hey, you want to come inside? Like, see what we do." Like,
How are
we're-
you able to do this, though? I mean, how are you able to live? Like, you're doing it for free.
Well,
Are you all-
are you
you're not-
donating your time?
It's
Sure.
not like you're. I
It's
mean,
volunteers.
I know, but it's not like you're retired rich or something. I mean, how you all doing this? How you all making a living?
So there's two different answers to this conversation.
I'll go first. So
Yeah.
I am not one of the do-gooders that I am surrounded by. I'm staff in the organization, so I do get paid a
I
modest
see.
sum. But
All right.
yeah, so I've been working with them for 3 months. So I was in Kentucky, then early October drove down here and started up down here. But there's so many people who make it work in so many different ways. That's
I see.
Yeah.
from the first time I was in All Hands, like that's what blew my mind. Is like I was fresh out of college. I was like, I joined a volunteer organization, AmeriCorps, and I was just like, I'm going to do this to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And then I just saw people from, literally worldwide, people coming in from all over the place. And I was just like, wow, there are so many ways to get by, to go through life, to do your thing. And like, I think Brian can talk about it from like the volunteer standpoint.
Sure, and like the volunteer standpoint is like we're rotating people out all the time. Like there's not
I see.
volunteers that stay here, but like some companies they'll give you a week to do volunteer work, and their company will be like, all right, go. We'll get some people like that.
So how do you get
So
that?
you're asking people to. I mean, it's a week. It's not like come for a year, take a gap
Sure,
year.
yeah.
It's as much time as you
As
can
you can
give. I
do-
mean,
right,
some people
right.
come for a day. Brian, how long were you originally going to stay?
Originally, I think I was here for 4 days.
And how long have you been volunteering with us?
I don't know, like 6 weeks or something.
Wow.
But so I have a job where I have the ability to like.
What is your job? What do you? I mean, how do you get a
work for
job?
NOAA. Yeah,
For who?
Oh,
the National Oceanic and
I see.
Atmospheric
Oh, wait.
Administration.
I knew, but I wasn't sure which.
Wait.
what I had
okay.
lost
You,
track
somebody
of who.
sent me a second email with
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, tell us about that job.
All right, so I'm a
Just
NOAA
as much
hurricane
as you
hunter.
want to,
Yeah.
and not, you
Well, he
know.
wouldn't have sent it to me if he didn't
Well,
want
I
to
mean,
I
just
know,
talk about
like real quick, like
Yeah,
I'm a NOAA hurricane hunter. I sit in the
Hurricane
back of,
hunter.
Yeah, aircraft. I fly into hurricanes and drop science pods so that the National Hurricane Center can.
What's a science pod? I know what it is, but
it's
she doesn't.
called a drop son.
Right.
Basically, it's a little tube
All
and it's
those little
got
things in it.
it's got
Little
some
sensors in
electronics.
it, yeah.
Exactly. It does like
Ba-boom.
wind speed, wind direction, temperature, humidity, barometric pressure.
So I have an important question.
Yeah,
here.
let's talk about
when
it.
you go up, or anyone goes up into a storm.
Sure.
I mean, how much Dramamine or barf bags are you taking? Because to me, that seems like.
Well,
That's a
that's
good
relative.
question.
Thank you.
I don't do any Dramamine or barf bags, but there are definitely people that ride that need that stuff.
How do you not like if I when I fly?
Yeah,
I was going to say when I fly commercial, but that is really the only way I fly.
Sure.
Not like we have private jets
you don't have
going
a jet
on
in your
here.
backyard.
No.
You don't go beach to beach.
No. But if there's any bit of turbulence, I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Oh,
hey,
she cries like a little
oh
baby.
my God, I yell out. It's not good.
Yeah.
How bad is it?
Most of the
Wouldn't
time
be
not too
something I
bad,
would-
but Ian sucked. Like,
Oh, you went up there for that?
yeah, I flew the last flight through Ian, and it was
Where did you fly through it?
So, right before it made landfall on Wednesday, the 28th.
Okay.
So-
Did you have like a 5-point harness?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I only
hell
used-
no.
I only
Wait.
used one of
Hell
them though.
no.
Wait, 5-point harness. What do you mean?
Like
But-
what they use
like race
when
car
you're race
drivers.
carring. Yeah. To
Yeah.
stay in the plane.
How many people were in the plane?
About 17 of us that
17.
day. Yeah.
And so, how high up in the air are you?
So that day I think we flew 8,000 feet because the Air Force was above us at 10,000.
Okay, so
So you're
8,000.
low.
We're
mean, that's-
through the sun.
yeah,
yet.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
So
not
you
going
asked me
over.
to come back on the show, and then you
Nah,
interrupt my
whatever.
questions.
I know.
So
Your
8,000
questions aren't
feet in
that
the
good.
air, and when you're looking down, are you looking down through the bottom of the plane? Can you see through the bottom? Like, is there like so
no,
you
we
can see
got-
the storm?
We got windows that are like commercial jet windows,
It's
pretty
not like
similar.
Oh, I see.
Kayaks,
Well,
yeah.
hey.
Glass bottom
Hey,
boats.
if it was a
You
real
never know.
hurricane, hey, listen, if it was a real hurricane hunting plane, you'd
Yeah.
have
We
the freaking
have
windows on the
glass
bottom so you can see the
bottom
freaking
flights
hurricane.
now.
Sure.
So you're looking out the window
Okay.
now. You're like your nose is up against the glass because there's
Yeah.
no plexiglass on the bottom.
Sure.
What are you seeing? Like, I mean, how crazy is that you're looking at right there?
I mean,
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm not asking you the
I know.
questions.
Go
You're
ahead,
not
go
a
ahead,
hurricane
go ahead.
hunter.
It's not what you're seeing though. It's what you're feeling.
Right.
With the, yeah. Okay.
definitely more like you feel like the aircraft is trying to like
Not
you know.
flip over.
not
Here,
flip
can
over
I?
very-
What do you?
yeah.
I want to know what you're seeing. Like, are you seeing like those twirly white clouds
yeah,
and
for sure.
heading towards Fort Myers Beach, or
Oh yeah, 100%.
where was Ground Zero?
For
Ian, yeah,
probably Sanibel, right?
no,
That was Cayo
Fort
Costa.
Myers Beach. It was the
Oh,
middle
you-
of Estero Boulevard, for crying out
Okay.
loud. Have you seen those buildings? I mean,
Oh yeah, we've been
Come
down
on.
there. Sure.
crazy. Sanibel got nothing compared to Fort Myers Beach.
So how come they can't come up with something that they can drop into the storm and bust it up?
They've
Oh,
tried, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, the military can't do that.
We
No,
can
I
put
guess
people
not.
on the
I'm surprised Trump
moon
couldn't
and
come up with something. I mean,
how hard would the technology be
I mean,
to
yeah.
do that
Oh,
though?
I have no idea.
you can't
I'm not
mess
really
with Mother
sure
Nature.
Is that
exactly
a
how
you
weather
question?
works.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you drop a bomb on a hurricane, then what happens?
Not
I don't
a
know. Maybe what you
bomb,
get is
but some
worse. I don't know.
sort of- There's got to be
De-storm a fire?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's one to be made, I guess no would
Yeah,
be
I
working
guess
on
so.
it. Yeah.
Stephanie says, please stop interrupting the guests. Okay. She's mad.
To you?
I don't know if it's me or you, but she is pissed.
Whoa.
So,
But interesting though, you brought up
Stephanie.
Fort Myers Beach. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have been down there, and like that's
Yeah.
yes.
there's
So,
a lot of work down
do you
there.
guys
Mhm.
think that you've gotten all of it, or there's
No,
more to
no,
go?
no.
So when you go in,
No.
I'm sure you answered this before. Are you clearing everything out, or you're knocking the house down,
You
or
can take this one
Yeah.
if you want. That depends on the house, right?
Yeah.
So there's like
get up
there's
close so
like
people can
two
hear you?
ways that water will come in a house, right? So like your friend Greg, right? He had a roof that got messed up, so he had top down.
I see.
And then if you're in a flooding area, you'll have bottom up. So it just depends on like how far did the water come up into this house, and then we'll take that line. We go 18 inches above it, and everything from there down is.
So how did you
removed.
meet Greg? Just walking down the street? Because he's not an outgoing, friendly person. I mean, you have to go. You have to find that guy. He's
You
got.
know, I
Did you
can't
save his
answer-
treehouse?
I
Did you
can't
fix his
answer that.
treehouse?
I think it might. We may have like helped one of his neighbors or something.
I see.
But like when I
Much
get
more
an
friendly.
assessment, I don't know how we met this people.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. They just give
I
me
know
a
for
house.
Greg, he did. I believe he called into our intake line, and it must have been
No
from
kidding.
he met somebody. I think it's exactly what Brian said. It sort of goes back to your question beforehand, where the work has to speak for itself. You know, you just have
Yeah.
to have that somebody
Did
who's willing
you-
to take a chance on you, know about the organization.
So-
and
No,
they
so
know
the
somebody.
people that volunteer, they have, it's all covered with insurance, and do they get training on how to do stuff, and how does that work? If somebody wants to volunteer, what should they do? What should they be prepared to do?
Just bring your boots.
Yeah, bring
Yeah,
your boots.
bring your
and,
boots.
uh,
That's
and
it.
a
And your
positive
muscles?
Attitude. Yeah.
When you went
Okay.
to Greg's house, what did you do? Like, what did you do? Clean out?
Sure. So we.
How many people
we
went
call
to
it
his
muck
house?
and gut, right? So I actually was the team lead for Greg's house.
Nice.
So it was We had a crew of 6.
6 people.
So his house was kind of interesting because if you're looking at his house from the front,
Yeah.
the left side was ceiling all the way down because there was roof damage on the left
Yeah.
side. The right side was a 4-foot muck and gut because we do 4 feet because that's like how a sheet of drywall.
I hear you.
You can put it up quicker. Like
He
everything.
he knows nothing about.
Did you save his
sheetrock,
nudie
but
magazines?
Yeah.
Well,
They
we
were
didn't
hidden in
see
the wall.
those.
They were hidden behind the
yeah.
drywall.
I think they were in the safe downstairs.
Yeah. Oh, he got those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure he got those. I did. I said nudie magazine. Greg told me he had a
old are
collection. He had an old collection,
old are you?
classics. Like they're like what do you call those magazines?
talk
Those
about
old
it anymore.
magazines. The kids used to. What are those things called? The little
The kids used to look at.
Yeah. What are the kids things called? What are they
Comic
called?
books?
Yeah, comic.
Comic
They're like
book, yeah.
comic books to him. He had giant
Comic
stacks
books.
of them. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
He thought he could get them, sell them on eBay at
Sorry.
some point in his life. So, did he help at all while you were at his house?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Supervise, or did he actually pick some shit up and throw it out?
And we gave him a sledgehammer and just had
No
him
Wow.
lay
kidding.
down.
Now, is he above or below
No,
the
no,
50?
no.
Is he above or below the 50%?
What did you say?
Is he above or below the 50%
Oh,
rule?
for FEMA?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I
doesn't know.
have no
Oh,
idea.
you know.
All I
You
know
just
is-
don't want to say. You
No,
know.
He
actually,
doesn't know.
I have no idea. Like home appraisal.
Now,
I
how
don't
does
know
your
any of that
volunteer
stuff.
work fit into the like 50% deal? Is it null and void, or it doesn't matter? Or you just cleaning? You're just cleaning. It doesn't matter.
I mean, at the whole point of what we do is so that a house can be safe to rebuild. So
right.
to us, what matters is that we get the water damage stuff, we treat the mold, it's safe to build back in. So whatever jurisdiction wants to do what, is kind of out of our hands.
How do you
So,
treat for the mold?
we use a chemical called shockwave, so it's ammonia based.
Of course.
They use it in like medical grade
Yeah.
facilities, but yeah, we dilute that down pretty heavily. We do the process
Not
of
bleach.
Not
No.
bleach. No, we don't
Okay.
use bleach. So you should not mix ammonia and bleach ever. So this
No,
shockwave
you
is an
should
ammonia.
not.
Shockwave
That's
is
like a bomb.
ammonia based.
That's like
Yeah,
it causes
it's like
you
what
could
said.
drop it into a
Maybe
hurricane.
they could. That's right. There you go.
So yeah, we put on a lot of personal protective equipment when we want to do
Wow.
like that treatment, like full Tyvek suit,
The
P100
whole-
Yeah.
respirators.
I was in that
We
this
dilute it.
morning.
Absolutely.
Let's get it.
Yeah, we scrub down.
How hot is that?
Vacuum, spray.
It sucks.
It's not good in Florida. It's rough.
Now, what are you guys doing for Christmas?
We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're standing. There's a church in Fort Myers. Shout out Community of Christ. They are. They're not going to have any church services, so they said, "Hey, come use our fellowship hall, use our kitchen." So we're going to
Wow.
have a Christmas dinner there. And before that, we're going to hand out food at Centennial Park for
Yeah.
Island Coast Helping Hands.
Wow.
In downtown
You
Fort Myers.
guys are all doing all kinds of crazy volunteering,
Wow.
making
Right.
everybody else feel like
Yeah.
shit.
No kidding.
Tomorrow we're putting together a playground at Sunshine Baptist Church in Port Charlotte. So
Shout out Pastor Dale.
Yeah, shout out
Thank you
Pastor
so
Dale.
much.
Thank you, Pastor
That
Dale.
was actually our first base here was Sunshine Baptist Church in Port Charlotte. They were so good to us.
So how is it funded? Just by donations?
They're
Yeah.
just by donations,
Okay.
100% donations. That's right.
So donations and
Wow.
and volunteers.
How
And
can
so
people
how
donate?
can people donate and how can they
Go to
volunteer?
allhandsandhearts.org, and you will find under our Hurricane Ian relief program, there's information about donating, there's information about volunteering. If you can't put in any time, put in some money. If you can't put any money or time, just some positive vibes, some prayers, thoughts, all that stuff. It goes a long way.
We need to run a free ad for these folks.
Yeah.
Links to
Yeah.
their website. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, I
cool.
agree.
Or,
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. We do often have people send us emails or text messages about volunteering.
we don't
And
know what to do with them.
and we don't know what to do. So
Yeah.
this is really so good to be able to put this out there and push those people your way, especially if they can do a day or 5 day, whatever.
sure,
It's
and
flexible.
That's one of the things about our organization is if you don't want to be a resident volunteer, you can be a day volunteer. Come by for a day.
Yeah.
Come see what's up. And like for you, you said you want to go to Nepal. Allhandsandhearts.org. Nepal response.
Oh,
Yeah, do it.
you just called her out
And
about
so,
that.
Yeah, if I could just put in a quick plug, I think like what you're saying is one of the most important things, like for the volunteer experience. Obviously the bottom line is to help people, but we also want people to come and feel useful. I mean, a lot of times, you get some organizations that have like anybody can go, like 300 people will be down,
Right, right,
handing
right,
out, 200 boxes of food, and all of a sudden you're not really feeling so useful. So we want to make sure everybody feels useful, everybody feels equipped to help people safely, and so that's our
That-
model.
yep.
That's how we do it.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys for coming on
That
and
is
have a great holiday.
fantastic.
And
Yeah,
we'll
thanks so much
stay
for
in
having
touch.
me. Thank you
And
guys
we
so much.
appreciate
For
what
sure.
you're doing down on the beach. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah,
no worries.
Absolutely.
Name the website again so everybody
Yep.
knows.
All
Sure.
hands and hearts.
Allhandsandhearts.org, and you can find all the information there. for the Hurricane Ian response
Or
program.
if you're
have
out hunting a
specific way
hurricane,
that you say that too. All hands and hearts.org.
Radio. I didn't
He's
know I was
been
going to be on
practicing
camera.
since
Yeah. Told I have a
2017.
face made for radio. Yeah, that's true.
thank you guys, and thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah,
thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much. Have a
Thank you
great
guys so much.
holiday.
All right, y'all be well.
All right, folks, before we head out of here, we want to make sure that we tell you about Mike Bannock. Mike is also doing demolition, debris removal, interior demolition, lot leveling, utility cap off from permitting. Mike's been on the show. Again, we are only telling you about people that we trust, people that we know, people that aren't going to gouge you. They're not going to steal your money. And Mike Bannock can be reached at 352-636-3719. 352-636-3719. And lastly, today, ATM Mortgage. They want to know if it is time for you to do a little home improvement around the house. ATM Mortgage offers lines of credit and rehab loans for the simple or complex project. If you need a new roof, fix your dock, maybe update your kitchen, no problemo. Little Spanish lingo thrown in there. Fort Myers resident Kim Henderson is here to help 7 days a week. You can reach Kim, 239-849-6999. Or you can go online at atmmortgage.net, atmmortgage.net. We want to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holiday or a Happy Hanukkah and a Happy New Year. We will be live from Wahoo Willie's tomorrow from 11 o'clock to 12. Greg Watson will be on the show. We have plenty of hats. We have plenty of yellow shirts that we're sending out. We got cups coming in. We have our January 1st beach cleanup. So if you're interested in the beach cleanup, you can go to our website, beachtalkradionews.com, and register. There's already over 200 people registered, and it's going to be a yellow army cleaning up all the muck and mud, whatever's on Fort Myers Beach on January 1st. What a way to kick off 2023. Let's get this year out of here. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning at the Wahoo Willie's. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.